Now, before we can actually start to use n8n and build our workflows, we need to install it, of course. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the different ways we have of actually setting up and installing n8n. So we have three basic options, and here we have the universal dilemma of keep all the features and no maintenance. Okay, so here we have the three options, and the three options are as follows. We have the local on the local machine that you are working on now. So for example, if you're on a laptop, you can install n8n on a laptop. Now this is going to be free and easy installation. You have just a couple of commands, but it's going to be very limited. The reason for that is because you need to have callbacks to your machine in order to authenticate various services, which you're not going to be able to do if you're on a local machine. Now, the second option is the cloud option. The cloud option is very easy to set up. There is no maintenance required, but of course it's quite expensive. We'll go into that in a bit. And then we have the VPS or virtual private server, which is basically a server that we own and we install everything that we want on it. Now this is going to be again free. I put cheap here because you do need the server. So if you don't have one already, you need to pay for that, but it's going to be much cheaper than a cloud service for free if you already have your VPS. The advantage here is going to be also that you can create your domain name and point it to your server. But here the problem is you have a bit of technical installation. So let's go into more detail on each of these three options and see which one is right for you. Now for the local, installation is going to be free forever, right? So this is mainly the only advantage that we have. The disadvantages are there is potential downtime. So if you have, for instance, workflows that need to run constantly and you turn off your laptop or desktop device, then you're going to have downtime. We need webhooks and callbacks, so other services need to be able to call our workflows, and that's not going to be possible on a local machine. And then most authenticated services don't work. OAuth authentication is not going to work because it needs a callback URL, and locally it's not going to be able to reach it. Now the second option is going to be a cloud installation. Here the advantages are that you have no setup required, right? So you just go to the cloud service, you click a button, the n8n instance is spun up, and then you can access it. And then no maintenance. You don't need to update it. You don't need to keep it alive all the time, and so on. The disadvantages are it's going to be expensive, of course. So you need to pay for the whole service of maintenance, installation, upkeep, and so on. And then you might be limited in features. So the lowest price might not give you all full features that n8n can provide. So I come to VPS or virtual private server, which is actually what I use and what I recommend. So the advantages here are that you own the server and the n8n installation, and then there is no limit on active workflows. Of course, you can have your own domain, so you can point your own domain to your n8n installation and have it that way. So if you're working with n8n professionally, that's going to give you a lot of benefits. And all services and webhooks work. So this is going to be stored on a server out there that is always on, and so on. Of course, you need to do the maintenance and update if required, but it's always going to be on, and the webhooks and all services are going to work perfectly fine. The disadvantages here is that you need to do the maintenance, right? So you need to have a bit of technical knowledge in order to do that maintenance. Or if you don't have that technical knowledge, you can always ask ChatGPT to help you out and, diagnose a problem or see what the issue is, how to install something that you need to. Okay, so that's the main disadvantage. Now, personally, out of the three, I recommend the virtual private server. It's what I use. The installation is not as difficult as it might seem. If you are only using n8n on that server, if you have multiple services, that might get a bit more complicated. But if you're just setting up n8n, for example, just try it out, for example, for this course, then VPS is a really good solution. I'm going to go through all of these installation options, so you can choose whichever one you like and use that one for the remainder of this course. Obviously, you need to pick one. You need to have an installation. But I will go through all of these and show you step by step how to set everything up.